Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and let's talk about WWE 2K20. So, I have not played a WWE video game in quite some time. The last time I actually purchased one was WWE 13, and it was almost the same exact game as WWE 12. And one of the big things from year to year that always gets talked about when these games get released is who's going to be on the cover? Like, I don't even think it's that big of a thing with the Madden games or the UFC games or the baseball games or the basketball games, because, like, I don't know, I don't think people really care. It's more just like, you know, who's like the flavor of the month, and that's how it is with the WWE games. But sometimes it's a little weird, like Randy Orton is by himself on WWE 2K, on WWE 12. You know, you see like wrestlers that have been there for years and years showing up on covers like years later, like Brock Lesnar. I believe he was on the cover of 2K15, you know. And so the thing is, so when I actually played 2K14, when they started referring to it as the 2K series instead of just the WWE and the year after it, I realized it was the same exact game. So I was like, I am not buying this game. I am not playing this game anymore until they make some adjustments. And I was just generally like burnt out on those games. I was like, you know, not a lot has changed. I don't know what changes they really can make to wrestling games, to WWE games. I don't know. I'm sure everyone's probably going to be saying, oh, the AEW game is going to be so much better. And you can just take a seat over there, you know, but I guarantee if there's an AEW game that comes out, it's probably going to be horrendous. Does anybody remember that horrendous TNA game that came out years back? Just a point to make there. But anyway, so let's talk about the trailer. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about who's going to be on the cover. So, as predicted, and many other people were predicting, Cringey Lynch is going to be on the cover of this game. But she's not going to be by herself, thankfully. It's going to be Roman Reigns there as well. And, like, if I had to assess, like, why, like, these people are on the cover, it's because Cringey Lynch, they made such a big deal. She's obviously the biggest star in the women's division still. Roman Reigns is there because it was an inspirational story. The guy deserves to be on the cover, you know, coming back from cancer, fighting through it, coming back. And so, you know, and the thing is, Roman Reigns has not been on the cover of a video game. And I did not even realize this. They did not put him on the cover. And that is probably because, you know, there's a lot of fans that dislike him. So if you've noticed, most of the people they put on the cover have been like fan favorites or people that like everyone agrees on that they like. So if that was the case, I don't understand like why Seth Rollins. I made it on the cover. I did. Too bad there wasn't a button on there where you could hear my voice. Could you imagine that? Imagine if you pressed the button on the cover of 2K19. Burn it down, guys. That would be a nightmare. But that's besides the point. This trailer was weird. They're like at a dinner party, you know, all the wrestlers. Braun Strowman's there. Hulk Hogan's there. You know, I guess no one was there to give him dirty looks. Mark Henry's not there. So Hulk Hogan's there. Braun Strowman. Sheamus, who's been injured, is there, which is weird because they haven't really been making a big deal of him on TV. He's been injured. You know, and I'm not saying like no knock against Sheamus, guys. If you have not watched Sheamus on YouTube, his Celtic Warrior workouts, you'll see what a big waste Sheamus has been in the WWE. How entertaining this guy is. What amazing shape he's in. I mean, the guy was always in shape, but he went through, like, have you ever seen somebody do a body transformation while they're already in such great shape? Like, he went from being in great shape to being, like, guys, he was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, and now he looks 10 times better than he did on that cover. Who can make that claim? I don't know, but, like, for someone like Vince McMahon, who, you know, puts a lot of stock in a guy's physique, I don't know, I guess he doesn't anymore, because you don't see that anymore. You see guys like Sami Zayn on your TV. You see guys like Ricochet on your TV. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, you know, Seth freaking Rollins with the CrossFit. It's just. So anyway, this trailer was ridiculous. Random stars in there at some dinner party. Becky Lynch comes crashing through the ceiling. She should be dead, for God's sakes. How the hell do you survive a fall like that? And, Roman Reigns comes over to her. He goes, nice, man, because she's the man. So funny, right? I was slapping my knee. I was slapping my knee so hard, I think I blew it out. I think I need to probably, get ACL surgery. I was slapping my knee so hard because it's so entertaining, guys. Unbelievable. Honestly, first of all, let's go through a few points here. Who's going to buy this game? Because it's been the same game, and sometimes they take features out, they put features in. Half of the wrestlers, half of the rosters are downloadable content. You have to pay more money, which is ridiculous. And I don't. And guys, I've talked about this, and I mentioned it when I talked about Doom being ported to the Switch. Go watch that video if you haven't already. I want to talk about this whole setup in video games where you've bought the game, you've paid your $60, and they insist that you spend like $20, $30, sometimes even more than that, sometimes the cost of the game, again, to be able to play the whole thing. And it's like, first of all, who even cares about those wrestlers? I mean, let me tell you something. When I was younger and I gave a damn, I used to sit there in the Create a Wrestler and try to create every single wrestler that they missed on the roster, which was always weird to me because it was never that there were space limitations. It was just sometimes they just didn't have wrestlers in there. I remember on the PS2, Just Bring It, X-Pac wasn't in the game. And I'm like, X-Pac wrestled at SummerSlam. X-Pac had been there at the Invasion pay-per-view. He had been there all goddamn year. And for some reason, X-Pac his moveset was in there. They even put, Albert, who was in the same faction as him that year. So these games have always been, just totally nuts when it comes to the roster. So the fact that, we're talking about Just Bring It, which came out in the year 2001, fast forward 18 years, and we're still having the same problems with the roster. But instead of, they have a good, they do a way better job of getting the whole roster in there nowadays. But now, it's half of these wrestlers are locked behind a paywall. And it's not because, they made them at the last minute. No, it's not that at all. It's not the fact that they made the guys at the last minute, or they suddenly debuted a few weeks before the game was released. No, they just, honestly, all they do is just okay, they're DLC. These guys are DLC. You want to see the whole roster, guys? Gotta pay us more. Get the hell out of here with that garbage. First of all, they're really lucky that they saw through the SJW fog and decided not to put Cringey Lynch on the cover by herself. Because can you imagine someone walking through Walmart or perusing Amazon who hasn't watched a product in years? They'll walk up to the game's cover or scroll to it and be like, who the hell is this redheaded nightmare on the cover here? At least when you see Roman Reigns, at least it offsets it. Who the hell is she? But Roman Reigns looks like a star. So even though he's not a household name, at least he looks like a wrestler. At least he looks like a guy that could kick someone's ass. At least he looks the part you would expect someone to look like that on the cover of a wrestling game. So, thank God they went that path for their own sakes. I don't care. I'm not going to buy it. You probably will. And, more power to you. If you enjoy the WWE 2K series, I'm just sick of it. I, can't do it anymore with those games. By all means. It's just the fact that, they were so hell-bent on putting Becky Lynch on there. And obviously, like, on TV, like, they've really taken a huge step back. I really doubt you're going to see any more women's main events at WrestleMania. So, you know, they've taken a huge step back. And that's a very good thing for, you know, but, you know, they still put her on the cover anyway. And that was the most ridiculous trailer of all time. Her exploding through the ceiling. And as far as how the game looks, it doesn't look like anything special. It looks like every other game. Like, honestly, like, there has been no improvements at all to anything. The graphics, the gameplay, it plays the same, it looks the same. What is the point? But, you know, besides all that, it's just like, look at this trailer. You see a trailer like that, and you're like, why would you even want to buy the game when that's the effort they put into the trailer? It's like, it's so cringy, it would just turn you off to the whole thing entirely. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And I will see you next time, guys.